Alright, let's do this. Chapter 2. The kids are getting ready in the locker room where Jean, Weiss, and Pyrrha discuss the teaming system of their soon-to-be orientation. Everyone then meets on the cliff over the Emerald Forest, where the kids get launched into the sky and land deep in the woods. Weiss bumps into RWBY and decides she doesn't want to settle for her as her partner, only to then bump into Jean. As she leaves Jean hanging, she gets attacked by a beowulf, and RWBY jumps in to assist her new partner. First of all, what animal is this? Like, I think it's supposed to be a dog, but there's just something weird about it. Like, I'm not the only one who thinks that, right? I really like this manga because they always make Yang look so gorgeous. Stop making her so beautiful all the time. Look who it is. Since Jean was so absent in the first chapter, his arrival here comes across really differently. He's supposed to be putting on a suave facade to woo Weiss, but since we never got to see Jean as he truly is, a lovable, down-home, mama's boy goober, it's hard to realize this isn't how Jean always acts. If I had only read this and not watched the show, I would assume Jean is kind of like Virion from Fire Emblem Awakening, an incessant flirt. Weiss makes the comment about him vomiting, but this is also easy to miss. Jean vomiting in the last chapter was such a small panel, it's kind of hard to even tell it's him. This whole interaction is a good example of how leaving him absent from chapter 1 has put a major dent in his character. The conversation between Pyrrha, Weiss, and Jean is pretty similar to the show, but there's an element missing here that I wish they kept in. Which character everyone is interested in talking to? Jean is trying to impress Weiss, Weiss is trying to win over Pyrrha, and Pyrrha is trying to get Jean's attention. In the manga, the kids go over the teaming dynamic, but their personalities are missing. To the point I had trouble telling which dialogue bubble was whose. The fact that Weiss isn't trying to recruit Pyrrha right from the get-go means that we're missing out on her aristocratic smooching skills, and that she's trying to be very tactical about getting the best team for herself to be on. Pyrrha isn't trying to get Jean to notice her, meaning we miss out on her crushing on him. And while we get a little bit of Jean's flirting with Weiss, it gets immediately dropped, so we miss out on his infatuation with Weiss. It's such a shame. This scene in the show did a great job having fun with their personalities bouncing off each other. Why would they leave all that characterization on the cutting room floor in the manga? I really like the line of RWBY being jealous of Jean and how easy it seems for him to make friends. That's something I love about his and RWBY's duality as leaders. RWBY is garbage at social situations, but she's a good leader because of her heroic actions on the field. Jean is a total weenie in battle, but he's a good leader because he's great at talking to his team and motivating them with his words. I wish they would highlight this more in the show or in the manga. So, last time I said the backgrounds left a lot to be desired, but this picture of the cliff is doing a good job proving me wrong. I like that they launch all the kids at once, because in the show, Jean looks pretty stupid not noticing the kids rocketing into the sky right next to him. I also like that it's Glinda's glyph that sends them flying. Cute touch. I also prefer that in the manga, it seems like the teachers just didn't hear Jean. In the show, it seems like they were intentionally ignoring him, and I didn't like how assholey it made the two seem. Holy crap, we actually get to see Blake land! Yay! These faces are so good. So, RWBY implies she had a bad landing, but it's kinda hard to tell. We just see some treetops with like, rustle, rustle, crack, crack. That doesn't really portray a bad landing, to the point I was confused by what RWBY had said. I wish they had a couple of panels of RWBY bouncing off branches, or at the very least, some more intense onomatopoeia. These faces are just so good! I like how RWBY's relieved Weiss walked away. They've been bickering since their introductions, so RWBY trying to make Weiss her best friend right off the bat seemed really weird. So, we don't see how Jean gets pinned to the tree. It's kind of out of nowhere. Last we saw, he was plummeting through the sky. And yeah, Pyrrha noticed, but we didn't get any insight on how she pinned him. That's why he has to explain it's Pyrrha's weapon. There's just a ton of explanation around this situation that's oddly missing. I'm glad Weiss insists on still wandering around trying to find the best partner. The fact that she just gives up and teams up with RWBY in the show also felt weird. Just like RWBY's insistence on becoming friends, Weiss was settling for this kid she hated this whole time, and it just felt odd. It felt like they were trying to rush these two together, and were ignoring some more conflict between the two that could happen. I love this. Having RWBY jump in to defend Weiss from a second Beowulf speaks volumes about RWBY's passion to help others. She might not like Weiss, but that doesn't matter when lives are at stake. And I love RWBY's motivations here. If they ignore the pairing rules now, that means they're starting their lives as huntresses, ignoring the responsibilities they're signing up for. So, this chapter definitely left me with mixed feelings. The things they do better are really great, but the parts they left out leave elements of the characters confusing at best or absent at worst. By far, the best thing in the chapter was the way they changed Weiss and RWBY teaming up. It helped elevate both their characters, and seeing the two reluctantly put aside their dislike for each other to take down a bigger enemy felt like a real powerful point for the series. But, the abridging of the conversation in the locker room was really a letdown. Not only do Jean and Weiss add hardly anything new to their characters, but we hardly get any time with Pyrrha. Her entire personality is absent due to the exposition-heavy dialogue. And you know, I feel like I'm forgetting something kind of important. God, gee, what was it? Where is Ren and Nora? In the show, this is supposed to introduce us to Ren and Nora. It's a little basic and it's brief, but they are there. Juniper are Team RWBY's friends. They're not just a group of 4, all 8 of the kids spend time together. And Ren and Nora are an important part of the crew. They also go off to Haven with RWBY after the fall of Beacon. They both are there with Jean to help him emotionally after Pyrrha's death. Ren is the one to help calm everyone down and keep them grounded. Nora is the one to help lift their spirits. These two are important, even with their woefully limited screen time in the show, but to omit them entirely is just stupid. This is the most we get of them? A tiny little doodle of them in the background? Well, regardless of that, the chapter is a mixed bag for me. Regarding the half with the kids in the locker room, the show is hands down the better choice. But when it comes to being in the Emerald Forest, the manga is much stronger. Chapter 1 really impressed me, so it's kind of a shame to make a couple of big missteps right afterwards. But we'll keep moving forward. Next time, let's see how the kids do when they have to survive through orientation. Alrighty, I hope you liked that video. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm enjoying this little manga series a lot, and I hope you are too. First of all, really important, I want to give a really big shout out to Allison RU. She and I did a thing with her. She does these like blind drawing videos, and I was the one who decided what monster creature she was drawing. And check it out. It's funny. Like, look at this.
Until later, when I saw what I had done, and then I corrected it. And even then, I still drew it in the wrong direction. I don't like this step.
It's so funny. I enjoy it a lot. She deserves more views. Please, just give her your love and attention. And if you want to support me, I do have a Patreon. There's links in the description. There's links everywhere. I would really appreciate any and all support. $1, $7, anything. It doesn't matter. It would really help out, and it would make you an awesome person. So, if you want to do me a favor, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.